Hill. Thank you all for being here, for taking your time to be here. I am also a citizen of District 21, and I am also a copy editor of the Unfiltered Lens, which is the Community College of Rhode Island's only student-run newspaper. I want to start off by asking you this. What is journalism? Because this bill is all about protecting student journalism within high schools and secondary education. In a common sense term, journalism is the publication of events and happenings through the newspaper, and magazines, and other social media stances, and etc. But there's more to journalism than just that. Journalism is a bedrock of our society. It always has been and always will be. And it's also part of living in a free society and in a free world. Without it, who would be asked what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false? The answer is simple. It wouldn't. This is why the press is both revered and despised. Entire nations ban the practice of journalism in order to protect themselves from their own citizens. And in the United States, we're lucky enough to have the First Amendment, where that already is protected both in the federal level and in the states. But when it comes to student journalism, those rights turn to get cloudy, and they're judged differently, and in many cases, there is no protection at all for these journalists. From the very beginning, from the Federalist Papers to today's headline, it's changed our mission, and we need to be able to make sure that students who will be the future of this profession are also protected. Being from the Unfiltered Lens of Community College of Rhode Island, we are not immune to this. We have actually had instances where people have entered our workspace without our knowledge, without our permission. We have had issues of our publications disappear with headlines on them that would not be very favorable to the administration, and more issues just seem to pop up every day. And when it comes to high school, many times those students have no rights when it comes to journalism at all. I also take a trip every year with the Unfiltered Lens to different conferences around the country, which are aimed towards promoting journalism and knowing each other's rights about journalism, also how to become better journalists themselves. And I remember, quite frankly, that there was one student who had written a story about his college president who had actually come out of the bar drunk. And when he reported about this, he was threatened by the college president personally with possible expulsion from the college because of it. He took it up with a lawyer, and it was the ACLU, and eventually the case was overturned, and he was protected with that. But in many instances throughout the nation, that doesn't happen. There are reasons that I cannot speak about right now because I don't remember them, quite frankly. Please excuse the nervousness. That this bill needs to be passed, and ultimately it comes down to this. Our founding fathers were smart enough to know way back when that it needs to be protected, and that hasn't changed today, especially when we live in a time of alternative facts and fake news. I remember in one of those trips in Washington, D.C., from my editor-in-chief, said a quote to me that was her own quote, and it stuck with me ever since. Every day we fight about different things, and we try to decide what's right for our nation, whether it be civil rights or whether or not we should charge the police or towing companies for who should be paying, and all of these other issues. But the basic thing is that how are we going to find the answers to these if we can't even talk about them in the first place? Thank you for your time.